Now, New Jersey, join the many residents who are getting quality, affordable health coverage through Get Covered New Jersey. If you need health insurance, this is the time to enroll. Get Covered New Jersey offers increased plan choices and more savings than ever. 9 in 10 people get financial help for plans that include preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. And many pay $10 a month or less. Find your plan at getcovered.nj.gov.
South Jersey's play-by-play home for the Eagles,
Touchdown!
Sixers, and Flyers. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios. Here's Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN, day after the Eagles lose to the 49ers. Boy, oh boy, we got a lot of ground to cover, so you guys can join the conversation. 609-403-0973, your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. All right, so here's the deal for the hour. We're going to go over the Eagles lost to the 49ers, what it means to the NFC, and then later in the hour, I'll get you my thoughts on the college football playoff and what it means later this month. But let's get started on the Eagles, just you and me for the next hour. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. And I want to start here because there were three major takeaways I had from the game yesterday. Number one takeaway was it is astonishing that this team is so talented, but they could have a game like I saw yesterday. This Eagles team is not a team that should lose in a lopsided manner to a team like the 49ers. I don't care how good the 49ers are. I don't care how much talent they have. There's no reason, no good reason, why you should ever lose a football game if you're that talented by the score of 42-19. And look, we got the news earlier today, about 3 hours ago, that Shaq Leonard was joining the Philadelphia Eagles. He picked the Eagles over the Cowboys. We can dig deeper into that in a little bit, but Shaq Leonard doesn't solve one of the problems of yesterday, which is you have a team with that quarterback and those receivers and that offensive line, and you scored 19 points. And don't tell me the 49ers defense is, oh, they're so good that that's the best you could do. Because I'm telling you right now, for as talented and as great as the 49ers defense is, they have not been shut down, locked down the entire season. People are very quick to forget the Rams game earlier this year. When the Rams were less than healthy, no Cooper Kupp back in week 2, the 49ers had to hang on to beat them 30-23. There is a perception that the 49ers are above and beyond everybody else. And I think that there is some serious issues that we have to get into with this team, as Dan Orlovsky explained this morning on Get Up.
I've given Brian Johnson, their play call, a lot of credit for situational football. I think that's been really good. If I had to ask you guys, like, who is, right this year, who is Philadelphia on offense?
Jalen Hurts.
And A.J. Brown.
Well, they were A.J. Brown for a while, and then he has quieted a little bit.
You know, like, they're again, last night, their offensive line hasn't dominated this year like it did last year.
Right.
That was apparent last night. They ran the ball 9 times last night. They are 350. Campbell gave me this number. They have run the ball for 350 yards less this year at this point than they did last year.
This is the problem. You have that talent and you have that analyst saying what he just said about the Philadelphia Eagles. Dan Orlovsky has really gone out of his way to speak up for and defend the Eagles over the years. And now he's been put in a situation where he has to criticize them and rip into them. And you heard what he said. Look, this is a team that should be better. This is a team that should run the ball more. This is a team that has issues on offense. I think there is a huge disconnect with this Eagles team in terms of their ability versus what they're doing on the football field. And that gets me to the second point. I don't understand the missed tackles. I don't get it. And when you hear someone like Nick Sirianni answer a question like this, like he did last night, it makes me more concerned. Nick Sirianni was asked last night after the game about the missed tackles.
We didn't play well enough, and they coached really well, and we didn't coach well enough. At the end of the day, that's what it is, and it was a little uncharacteristic, the missed tackles. But Tebow and McCaffrey and Kittle, those guys do a good job, and Ayuk, they do a good job of breaking tackles as well.
Horrible answer. That's not the answer, Nick. You have all of those missed tackles, and the best answer you can give is, we got to be better. That's not characteristic of who we are. Those guys are really good. That's not the answer. See, this is the problem when it comes to a game like last night. It makes you question who and what this team is long term. Because, sure, bringing in a guy like Shaq Leonard fixes some of your linebacker problems, but he doesn't fix all of your problems. He doesn't make the corner and the safety tackle better. He doesn't make his teammates tackle better. Just because he can tackle doesn't mean everyone else can tackle. And way too many, I'm throwing my shoulder, I'm throwing my body into guys. Very rarely did you see form tackling last night. And I don't know how that happens. I don't know what that means long term, but man, the defense exasperated me. Like, if you would have told me the 49ers won 35-30 or 30-24, I think I'd feel differently than I do right now. But today, I look at this Eagles team and I say, you guys just got a wake-up call. That's what yesterday was. Yesterday was a wake-up call, and you saw a defense that struggled at the point of attack. They struggled at when they got to handle the man in front of them. They got beat. They got beat. And that leads me to my third problem with the game yesterday. If you're going to be the team that is losing at halftime every single game, you got to give me more than you did last night. It felt like the Eagles were a different team yesterday than what we saw just the week before against Buffalo. It felt like they were a different roster, like they're different players out there. And I am legitimately concerned that the Eagles might not get the full message. Josh Hennig here on Game Night, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle. What do I mean by the full message? The full message is that when you lose a game like that, it's not enough to say we weren't good enough. We got to do better. And we heard Eagle players say after the game, they got to be better. But what does that look like? Because you could argue that they were sloppier in the Bills game. They were sloppier in the Rams game than they were last night. So what exactly are you getting better at? What exactly are you going to improve on? I know what they should improve on, but it's almost like they don't want to say anything until they see the footage. And man, I'm confused. I am confused. What exactly they think is wrong? Because listen, I can sit here and play you 20 different football analyst perspective. I know some people have gone viral on social media the last 24 hours about what they have said about this team. I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys. I can sit here and break it down for hours as well. But the reality is that this comes down to the players looking themselves in the mirror and admitting what exactly they got to get better at. Anyone can say, I got to be better. Well, how are you going to be better? That's the difference. And like Dan Orlovsky said, right now, the 49ers might just be the better football team.
It's the most talented roster in football. It's also the best coached roster in football. Kyle Shanahan was the difference last night. It was a masterclass when it came to how to attack a defense.
It's almost as if the Eagles have to be one of the 5 worst adjustment teams of all time I've ever seen. I can't remember the last time a Philadelphia football coach legitimately was able to make adjustments on the fly in a game. I feel like if the adjustments don't fall within like a certain range, they can't handle it. They can't do anything about it. And I just don't get how you can go through a game like that and nobody realized that the 49ers whipped you. All right, coming up next, we'll break deeper into what the Eagles got to do better, how they can get better, what areas are specifically of concern. And you guys can chime in at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank CL. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night on 973 ESPN.
The college basketball season continues. The Jimmy V Classic from Madison Square Garden in New York City. 13th ranked Florida Atlantic faces number 24 Illinois, followed by 4th ranked UConn at number 17 North Carolina. The Jimmy V Classic. The college basketball season continues tomorrow night, only on 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's home for the NCAA tournament. Coverage begins at 6:30.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino Resort this football season. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to Ocean. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The holidays are the happiest time of the year. That is, unless you or your loved ones are miserable because of colds, sinus infections, or allergies. This holiday season, give the gift of better breathing with Navage. What makes Navage so effective? Well, unlike cold and allergy drugs that might take a long time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage provides fast relief from sinus congestion in 30 seconds flat. Navage doesn't just relieve symptoms, it attacks the cause by sucking out the germs, allergens, and viruses trapped in your nose that are making you feel miserable. Best of all, Navage does it naturally, without drugs. Wash away your cold and congestion problems this holiday season. Add Navage to your gift list so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hey, I came as fast as I could. What's wrong?
Everything's okay. I just need you to know I'm glowing up.
You just texted SOS Get Here Now.
And I stand by that because I switched to Cricket and got the all-new Motorola Razr. I have entered my flip era, and I am glowing up.
I'm going to go back home.
I support that.
Switch to Cricket and get the all-new Motorola Razr for $199.99. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Must open a new line on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
WellCare of New Jersey is now Fidelis Care. We're the health plan you know with a new name and look. If you're a member, nothing is changing. You have the same benefits and services and can continue to see the doctors you trust in our New Jersey network. And if you need health insurance, count on us for quality, affordable coverage. WellCare of New Jersey is now Fidelis Care. Call 1-888-453-2534, TTY 711, or visit fideliscarenj.com.
Hey, this is Travis Kelce, NFL tight end and proud member of the Lowe's home team. Lowe's knows when you've got the best price, you've already won. That's why we offer the lowest price guarantee. If you find a better price online or in store, we'll match it. Now you can score on the top brands from the Lowe's home team picks, like Scotts, LG, and DeWalt. So take on your projects with confidence. Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retail partner of the NFL.
Price match applies to same item, current price of qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
The Xfinity Mobile Black Friday sale is on now. Learn how to get a free line of mobile for 2 years with Xfinity Fast Internet and up to $800 off an eligible 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale. Ends 12/5. Restrictions apply. Actual internet speeds vary. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
O'Reilly. Does your vehicle have over 75,000 miles? Get maximum high mileage engine protection with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $34.99. Limit supply. Ask for Syntec High Mileage at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. DayQuil Kids Berry from Vicks. DayQuil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that DayQuil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
DayQuil Kids Berry. The kids' berrylicious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
Is your home ready for the next season? Are you worried about rooms that aren't staying cool or won't keep you warm in the winter? Call Jenkins Plumbing and Heating today about a new system from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning or a Mitsubishi ductless system. Take advantage of financing of up to $15,000 from South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric. Save more with rebates from these local utility companies. A new system can save you on your utility bills. Call Jenkins at 609-641-6440, online at jenkinsonsons.com.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Before we check it on the text board at 609-403-0973 and your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See, I did want to get to the news that came out about 3 hours ago when the Eagles signed all-pro linebacker Shaq Leonard. And to me, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because of where this team is and what this team has been going through and dealing with. And when I look at where the Eagles are, right? They certainly needed this guy. This was not a signing of just, hey, it would be nice. Okay. They literally needed Shaq Leonard. And it's not just because he plays linebacker. They need him because you have a position of linebacker that has been pretty much neglected by this organization for most of my lifetime. The last time the Eagles had a legitimate, versatile linebacker, when was it? Seth Joyner? I mean, Trotter, he was a great downhill linebacker. Nigel Bradham was really good for 1 year. And TJ Edwards, he was a solid, good linebacker, but it wasn't anything, legendary. Shaq Leonard at least gives you the upside that he might be more than just a rental. And people have spent a lot of time trying to figure out, why was this guy released by the Colts? And frankly, I feel like that I'm less concerned about why he was released by the Colts, and I'm more concerned about why the Eagles are in this position. You let TJ Edwards walk because you had Nakobe Dean. And you let Kazir White walk because, well, you thought you had something better you can get. Now, you have a situation where you're without everyone now. No Zach Cunningham, no Nakobe Dean, none of the guys you brought back. And you saw how horrible Nicholas Morrow played yesterday. Nicholas Morrow himself accounted for 151 yards after the catch against San Francisco, according to Pro Football Focus. That means Morrow might be the worst coverage linebacker on planet Earth. So even if Darius Shaquille Leonard, which is his full name, is only marginally better, okay, great. So instead of allowing 151 yards after the catch, let's say he gets half of that, right? 80, 85. Maybe those half yards helps you get a better game yesterday out of your defense. And maybe Shaq Leonard's presence can help fix this other problem, as Rex Ryan mentioned about this morning on Get Up.
Biggest problem, though, is not their offense. It's their defense. And here's Himbo gave me this stat. They're dead last in third down defense.
Yeah.
Dead last.
It's tough.
All right. And I can sit back on the couch and tell you what coverage you're in. If I can do that from the couch, you don't think these teams, know exactly what you're in? That's part of their problem, too. It's not just the players. It's part of this system. They don't disguise. They don't challenge the offense.
This is one of the complaints I have had for years. If I'm watching the game at home, I'm watching the game out with my friends or people I might randomly meet, wherever I may be, okay? I'm out watching the game. You have to be able to do more than what I can see with my own two eyes. My own two eyes, I should say. Rex Ryan was saying what I was yelling at yesterday. You kept running the same defense, and the 49ers just kept taking advantage of them. I don't understand how you didn't make adjustments. And maybe this is part of the reason why you bring in a guy like Shaq Leonard. Not because he fixes all your problems, but because when you got a 3-time first-team All-Pro linebacker back there, maybe he, in a moment of sanity, looks around and says, this ain't working, guys. We got to do something else. Because nobody else said it yesterday. Nobody else turned around and said, man, we are really getting our butts kicked. Maybe we should try something different. Maybe we should stop trying to blitz every 5 seconds. Maybe we should stop running zone coverages. Maybe we should stop doing some of these things. And maybe then we would have an opportunity to actually maybe potentially win the game. I'm just saying, there's a possibility that your defense could have played way better if you didn't run that stupid overlapping passive zone that the 49ers just kept finding hole after hole after hole. Excuse me. And it was driving me nuts. So if I can see it and Rex Ryan can see it and almost everybody else can see it, why can't the Eagles coaches see it? And this is what frustrates the fan. The element of fan frustration that I most empathize with, and I think that coaches and players don't always grasp, is the idea that when the rest of the world sees something and you didn't, how do you explain that? It's the king has no clothes. I'm sitting here and telling you the king has no clothes, and other people are telling you the king is naked walking down the street, but yet the king and the people around him saying, great robes, great helm, great crown, great shoes, whatever. It perplexes me. It literally perplexes you. And so when Rex Ryan says that, I immediately stood up this morning. I said, thank you. And I wish more coaches and players process that, because I don't think every fan, I don't think every broadcaster, I don't think every person with a microphone, every person with a TV camera in front of them is an idiot just because they're not currently coaching and playing in the league. And I would hope that someone like Shaq Leonard can maybe be another voice in these meetings to turn around and say, guys, we should do something different. Or maybe on the field, he's the play caller, and maybe he can call out of a play and get them into a different coverage otherwise. Look, I think Shaq Leonard is going to be a good addition for this team. This is a guy who, first of all, multiple teams were interested in, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network and Jordan Schultz of Bleacher Report. It wasn't just the Eagles and the Cowboys. He visited the Eagles and the Cowboys because those were the two teams that had the most specific opening opportunity for him. This guy played the second most snaps on the Colts defense of any linebacker this year. EJ Speed is their number one snap linebacker this year. He has played 3 more games than Shaq Leonard, and he only has 36 more snaps played. So in theory, he literally only has maybe a game or 2 more of playing experience on that defense this year. It's not like Shaq Leonard is washed. I do understand that the back surgery he had and the complications with him coming so soon back from that, and then the concussion he sustained last season definitely put a ding on him, but I think that he rebounded well because he had 34 solo tackles and 2 tackles for loss in 9 games this year. I'm not asking him to come in here and be the greatest linebacker of all time. I'm asking him to do better than what we saw yesterday. I don't think that's too hard. I don't think it's too hard. According to Pro Football Reference, Shaq Leonard's 2 missed tackles against the run are tied for the among the fewest in the NFL among linebackers with a minimum 165 snaps. So this dude, he has only 2 missed tackles in 455 snaps. And he is tied for among the fewest receptions allowed as a linebacker with 17. Again, it's an improvement. It's an upgrade. It's a reinforcement. I'm not asking him to come in here and be an all-pro. I'm asking him to be better than Nicholas Morrow and Christian Ellis. Doesn't seem like rocket science to me. All right, let's hear it from the text board, 609-403-0973, or DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how Biz from Abseekin chimes in and says you can't have an offense designed around 3 receivers and a tight end and then just do away with not having a tight end involved. Biz, I understand what you're saying. I think you're oversimplifying it because I think part of the problem is this offense doesn't have an identity. And this offense not having an identity is a huge problem. Here's Dan Orlovsky explaining further.
Doesn't it feel like they're pass happy at times? Like
Yes.
and I know Sirianni's identity or philosophy is we're going to throw to score, run to win. I get all that. And maybe they felt like if they don't jump on San Francisco, to our point, like they can't stop them, but they come out so pass happy last night. And they did it last week as well. They just got away with it. And I think we have to be honest, and they have to be honest about like who they are, who they can be on offense. Are they too pass happy? Is it too A.J. Brown centric? Because offensively, they don't have an identity right now.
That there's the problem, Biz from Abseekin. They have all this talent, but they're not running on the field being like, this is what we do. It's on you to stop us. Yes, the offense is designed around your 2 elite receivers, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Your offense is built on the idea that Dallas Goedert is a huge part of that offense. Yes, your offense is built on the idea that you have this great offensive line. But a game like yesterday, when you don't have Dallas Goedert and you don't have Grant Calcaterra, you don't have the receiving options, the Eagles didn't make the adjustments yesterday that they made in previous games. They did a much better job against the Bills and the Chiefs to offset the loss of Dallas Goedert. Remember, this is the team that scored more points per game in the 5 games Dallas Goedert missed last year than the 11 games that he played the rest of the season. So it's not like this offense can't function without him. I think, Biz, one of the problems is that the offense is designed one way and is being play called a different way. And I think it's a huge negative against Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni to not have the awareness to say, hey, this is not working. We should try something else. 609-403-0973. Joey D. Inventor says, press at the line of scrimmage. Give the pass rush more time to get there. Can't get off the field on 3rd downs and send 0 blitz. They get quarterback off their spot. It drives me nuts. Yeah, the blitzing without anything else going on is maddening, Joey D. Inventor. It's one of those deals where if you're Philadelphia and you do press the line of scrimmage, like for example, you mentioned pressing the line of scrimmage. What's the point of pressing at the line of scrimmage if you're not going to have somebody over the over the back end to catch you if your jam is wrong. You know, Brandon Ayuk is still a speedy receiver. Deebo Samuel is a sneaky good route runner. George Kittle is a powerful dude. These guys all had opportunities to take advantage. Christian McCaffrey can run like a receiver. If Christian McCaffrey was a full-time receiver instead of running back, he'd be top 10 in the NFL every year in every category. He's that gifted. So you're right. It's the press at the line of scrimmage with a pass rush. It's the pass rush and the blitz and the coverage, and stop having this passive zone where everybody just backpedals the whole time. I can't stand it. I can't stand when I see these guys backpedaling all the time. Like, stop backpedaling, put your foot in the ground, and go get the ball. Uh, 609-403-0973. Jeff in Ocean City has a couple comments. He says, James Bradbury did not allow a single reception or yard to any of his coverage assignments against 49ers. He wasn't even targeted, according to Pro Football Focus. I did see that stat, Jeff in Ocean City. But I think part of the reason why that is because the 49ers did not go near Bradbury. They kept running a lot of motion plays, and the Eagles were getting manipulated by the motion. This is a problem they had last year, too. It's the idea that when a team is shifting, when a team is sending guys in motion, it's like the Eagles get distracted of where they should be looking, where their eyes should be. They lose track of their assignments. And when you lose track of your assignments, it's easy to get yards against someone. And so part of the reason why Bradbury had a great game statistically is because the 49ers were just like, yeah, we're not dealing with cornerbacks today. We're going to go somewhere else. So I think that's a big part of it. I don't think Bradbury had a great game necessarily. I just think that the 49ers kept almost everything around the middle of the field. They didn't go on the outside very often. They didn't attack the edges very often because they didn't have to. Jeff goes on to say on the text board at 609-403-0973, the Eagles have lost 5 in a row at Dallas. I don't foresee a win this Sunday. However, I believe they can still win their final 4 games and get the 2 seed. Well, 2 seed's not good enough. You need the 1 seed. You need the week off. You need to hit the reset button. I don't think this team is built for a postseason run that requires you to play wild card weekend. I just don't. Now, the problem with the in Dallas thing is, and I was talking about this earlier today with somebody, it's the idea that losing 5 in a row it's subjective because Jalen Hurts has only played in 2 of those games. And in those games total, he had the one game, he had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The other one, he had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And the one was in 2020 when Hurts was playing for Doug Peterson. I think Hurts has shown that he's way better working with Sirianni than Dougie P. Look, Minshew and Carson Wentz losing to the Cowboys doesn't surprise me. And when one of those games for Hurts was with Doug Peterson as his quarterback, it changes things. I don't think it's as simple as, not all games are equal. Not every winning and losing streak is equal. And I think that for the Eagles, what happened the last 5 years in Dallas doesn't have a consequence to me on this game. Over on the text board, I was reading Jeff from Ocean City's text. Now I'm going to George from Summers Point at 609-403-0973. He says, hey, Josh, do you think the Eagles coaches could have made any adjustments at halftime or throughout the game, or were they strictly outmanned with their personnel in the game? I'd like to think that it's the former because it's the latter. They have no hope for beating this team this year. Let me know what you think. George and Summers Point. I think they were outcoached. I really do. And there are adjustments that could have been made. You ran the ball only 9 times with anyone not named Jalen Hurts. So if you're not running the ball, you don't have a balanced offense. If you don't have a balanced offense, you become predictable. When you become predictable, other teams can take advantage of you. So there's always a chance to make adjustments in game. I don't think they were purely outmanned. I think for one night they were outplayed and outcoached, but I don't think the Eagles are like so significantly less than the 49ers. There are adjustments that could be made. You could have stopped running that stupid passive defense. You could have stopped blitzing every 5 seconds and giving more opportunities for Purdy to dump the ball off to Deebo Samuel and the Christian McCaffrey and to Brandon Ayuk and the George Kittle. You could have done something about that, but you didn't. All right. We'll get more text coming up in just a moment. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank Seattle. More thoughts on the Eagles. Also, we'll give you my thoughts on the football weekend as well as the college football playoffs.
Here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner from Jacksonville when the AFC South leading Jaguars host the 5-6 Cincinnati Bengals. At 8-3, Trevor Lawrence and the Jags are in the mix for the AFC's top seed and looking for a third consecutive win. Don't miss all the action on Monday Night Football.
Listen to Monday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 7:30.
And now, a holiday wish from the New Jersey Lottery Scratch-Offs Division.
We wish you holiday riches. Give a gift of holiday riches. Holiday scratch-offs can bring holiday riches and make your whole gift list cheer. Give holiday scratch-offs to friends and your kin. There's over 41 million prizes for Jersey to win. We did it!
Share wishes for holiday riches.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Parents are urged to think twice about gifting lottery tickets to children.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, this is Brighton Richards from Apex East Roofing. You know, the blonde-haired girl in the pink truck. We want to keep our men working so that they have a good Christmas. So if you're in need of a new roof, we're holding a Keep Our Men Working sale, going on now through December 31st. Go to apexeastroofing.com and get a quote in 30 seconds. And all of us at Apex East Roofing are wishing you and your families a happy holiday season.
Get a price on your roof in 30 seconds at apexeastroofing.com.
The holidays are the happiest time of the year. That is, unless you or your loved ones are miserable because of colds, sinus infections, or allergies. This holiday season, give the gift of better breathing with Navage. What makes Navage so effective? Well, unlike cold and allergy drugs that might take a long time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage provides fast relief from sinus congestion in 30 seconds flat. Navage doesn't just relieve symptoms, it attacks the cause by sucking out the germs, allergens, and viruses trapped in your nose that are making you feel miserable. Best of all, Navage does it naturally, without drugs. Wash away your cold and congestion problems this holiday season. Add Navage to your gift list so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get up to a $1,000 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. Yep, you heard that right. 1,000 back. Something extra for your company. From the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/5/2023. New customers with Gigabit Extra Internet, Security Edge, One Voice Mobility Line, and Connection Pro or Wi-Fi Pro with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply. Call or go online for details.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January. As you know, mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Steel, and Lincoln Electric in-store or at northerntool.com.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino Resort this football season. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to Ocean. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Before we get back to the text board at 609-403-0973 and your DMs into 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. So they just announced the finalists for the Heisman Trophy on television. Jaden Daniels of LSU, Marvin Harrison Jr. of Ohio State, Bo Nix of Oregon, and Michael Penix Jr. of Washington. And it only reaffirms the fact that I think that Jaden Daniels is going to win the award, because the way the voting is in today's environment, a lot of the Heisman voting is regional, okay? Which means that Penix and Bo Nix are going to have voters who are going to be split down the middle on them. So what happens is that that's going to benefit somebody else. And I think that's where Jaden Daniels comes. I think most of the voters are going to look at Jaden Daniels' phenomenal season and say he did it against a higher level of competition than Penix and Nix. You know, one of the problems with the college football playoff right now is because people are angry because Florida State got left out. But what they forget is that part of the reason why Florida State is not in is because of the 3 undefeated teams who were in the top 5. 2 of them were given a higher valuing. They were, I'm not saying the right word. They were valued more than Florida State was. Penix Jr. in Washington was given a lot of credit for beating Oregon twice. Just because the people who run the college football committee see it that way doesn't mean everyone else in the country sees it that way. You look at a situation like Michigan. Michigan was given a lot of credit for going undefeated, winning games without John Harbaugh, beating Ohio State. But all of those are not valued at the same level as the people who run the college football playoff committee. So some of these conversations, who should win and who will win, are completely different things. To me, I think it should be Penix Jr. I think he's had an incredible season. I would give it to him. But I understand the likelihood is that it's going to be Jaden Daniels because how the voting is going to break out. Again, 2 separate issues. All right, let's get back to some of the Eagles stuff, and we'll wrap up the football weekend here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. I gotta be completely honest. Dennis from Vineland, I don't know who Donnie McNuggets is. I feel like I should. I feel like it's like a McDonald's character or something. Dennis from Violence says Jalen Hurts looks like Donnie McNuggets with those happy feet. I've seen this movie before. Well, I don't think Jalen Hurts has happy feet, Dennis. I think that maybe you're watching the game, a different game than I am. I think Hurts was in the pocket holding the ball for too long and not making quick decisions. I don't think he had happy feet. I think he got blocking on some of those passing downs, and he was just holding it and holding it and holding it and holding it, and he would run out of time. Now, is that because Jalen is making that decision, or is that because the play call demands that he hold the ball like that? I don't know. I'm not in those offensive huddles. I'm not in those offensive meetings. But I don't think he has happy feet. I think that Jalen Hurts is just holding the ball too long and taking too long to make a decision. It's not the same as happy feet. To me, a guy with happy feet is like a Sam Howell in Washington running for his life, or back in the day when David Carr used to play for the Houston Texans, he was getting destroyed behind the line of scrimmage back in, what was it, 2002, 2003 for David Carr. That's happy feet. You could say maybe Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson, when they were younger, they had happy feet. I don't see that from Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen's a guy who wants to pass the ball. He wants to be in the pocket. He's reluctant, well, too reluctant sometimes to run the ball, to move his feet. So, again, I think Dennis and Violent, I don't see the same football games. So, but I do appreciate you texting in to the show. Josh and Nick here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. I mentioned that I would get into the football weekend. What an incredible weekend it was. And the reason why the college football playoff became such a dramatic conversation the last 36 hours was because of what we saw on Saturday. And part of that was Alabama with their upset of Georgia. And the Georgia loss is a massive domino that fell on Saturday because, in the NFL, you don't have a committee that decides who makes the postseason. Everything is earned on the field. College football, you got a bunch of people, 12 people go in a room, no one's around, and they just make decisions, and then they send their their mouthpiece to go out there and deflect until you actually get around to an answer. So, look, I don't dislike the four they came up with, because for as much as I would have liked to have seen Florida State in the playoff, and Georgia probably shouldn't have dropped from 1 to 5 or 6 in the rankings, depending on which list you look at. To me, at least, I look at it as the committee has a standard. Their standard is conference championship matters and strength of schedule matters. Under those criteria, not my criteria, not your criteria, not anyone else's criteria. Their criteria says that you got to win with a good schedule and a conference championship. And my question about Florida State is, for the people who want Florida State in the playoff, who do you take out? Look, Washington beat Oregon twice this year. They played the same number of ranked teams as anybody else did. Why doesn't anyone sit there and nitpick on Washington and Michigan? Washington and Michigan have just as good, if not worse, schedules this year in terms of strength of schedule, strength of opponent, type of talent they were going up against week in and week out. It's the same as Florida State. I don't see anyone wanting to get rid of them. Everything's all about getting rid of what's it called? Bama and Texas. I just don't understand the obsession people have with it has to be this. It has to. No, I think that it's a shame that Florida State got held out, but I understand why. The committee looked at Texas and Alabama because Texas beat Alabama and Alabama beat Georgia. And that gives both of them a big pedigree boost. They valued that. And so that's why you got the result you got. I do have to sound like an old man, get off my lawn for a second. Kyle McCord, the quarterback of Ohio State, and the quarterback from Oklahoma, Dylan Gabriel, both transferring, seems to be the most petty, pathetic thing in the world. Where are you going to go? That's better than where you're at. Ohio State has some of the best wide receivers in college football the last several years. Dylan Gabriel's playing at Oklahoma. Where are these guys transferring to? It blows my mind. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Catch you tomorrow.
This is South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football with the legendary voice of the Eagles, Merrill Reese and Mike Quick. Philadelphia Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN is brought to you by
Ocean Casino. Get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games at Ocean Casino this football season. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you and at gmslaw.com. Boardwalk Honda. Shop our lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com. The Fan Zone at Sun Valley Pools, 29 West Sherman Avenue in Vineland. Unique fan gear and gifts for every fan of every team. Cape Regional Hospital, your healthcare partner for a healthier life in Cape May County. Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Choose better banking. And South Jersey Gas.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN FM.